All right. Hello. This is my little Halloween vlog. Uh, I had big plans for today. As far as videos go, I was going to make this whole awesome video about like the history of Halloween and like facts versus myths and all that, but I just didn't have time for that. I mean, I have a lot going on right now. I have a big event that I'm getting ready for, but I did at least want to make a video today on Halloween because this is the most important day of the year for me. And today I'm actually spending it alone. I did some work in my studio earlier and yeah, pretty much just came in and made myself some dinner and started watching horror movies. I took a vacation day from work today and yeah, I did make myself this. Nice big Bloody Mary. Nice and spicy with a celery stick and everything. And it's pretty delicious. But I wanted to talk a little bit about why this day is so important to me. Halloween has always been my favorite holiday ever since I was a little kid. And I was raised in a Catholic family. And I even remember my mom saying at one point, oh, well, Halloween's not a real holiday. It's just a kid's holiday. I don't even know why we celebrate it. And that's anything. I mean, yeah, that's my mom's opinion. But, I mean, Halloween's actually one of the oldest holidays in the world. It dates all the way back to, I think, Babylonia. I don't want to report the wrong facts, but I remember reading somewhere that it dates back to ancient Babylonia and, that it has, like, druidic origins. And, I mean, I don't really know. I know there's a lot of conflicting opinions, like, where the origin actually is. But, I mean, it's a harvest holiday. And, I mean, it's got a lot more significance than just being a day when kids dress up and get candy. I'm an adult and I love dressing up. But I always liked it as a kid because it was the one day where, excuse me, Halloween was the time when I could be whatever I wanted. And I had a difficult childhood. And, I'm also, like, I'm legally blind. I have learning disabilities. There were things that made things difficult for me as a child. And, Halloween was just a really fun day, and it was a really fun time for me to just be whoever I wanted to be. And whatever I was interested in that year, that's always what I dressed up as. When I was a kid, I went through a time where I was, like, really into fairies. And so that year I got to be a fairy. And I actually went through, like, when I was really, really little, I live in a part of the country where there's a lot of Amish people. And when I was really, really little, like preschool age, I remember seeing Amish people and just thinking they were the coolest thing ever for whatever reason. And so that year for Halloween, I dressed up as an Amish girl, and just thought it was the greatest thing ever. I mean, it was a really fun time to play pretend. And then when I got older and started getting really into horror movies, and really into the horror scene, like, my family did not like that I was so into horror. My mom actually called me upstairs at one point to have a talk in my room, and she asked me if I was messing around with satanical stuff. I mean, that's actually how she said it. She asked me if I was messing around with satanical stuff. And so my family they were not digging it at all. They didn't like the person that I was growing into. And but yeah, I was really into horror, and not only just watching the movies, but writing horror stories too. And I was a little goth teenager, and Halloween was like the one time of the year where it was acceptable to be that way, and like where I kind of had permission to be myself. I remember, like, my dad is dead now, rest in peace, but when my dad was alive, there were a couple years in a row where on Halloween weekend, him and I would just go to the video store and rent tons of horror movies and get all kinds of candy and sit and eat popcorn and candy and watch horror movies. I mean, I remember the first year we ever did it, I was like 11, I think. I was in 5th grade, so would have been like 10 or 11. And we rented the original Friday the 13th and the original My Bloody Valentine. And neither of those movies I had seen. So it was a pretty good night. And I remember, I think it was the following year, we watched Silence of the Lambs and something else. I don't even remember what the other movie was. Silence of the Lambs scared the living fuck out of me, being like 12. Yeah, I mean, Silence of the Lambs was probably a little bit too heavy for a 12-year-old, but oh well. I mean, I'm not completely insane, so it didn't mess me up too bad. This is a good Bloody Mary. Made with top shelf vodka and V8 and organic celery. Yeah, and I mean, it's a holiday I never quit celebrating as an adult. I mean, every year I try to do something pretty special on this day, and you know, this year I don't know. I mean, last weekend I went to the Halloween ball at the Masonic Lodge, and that was pretty fun and everything, but on the actual day, I'm just kind of hanging out alone, watching horror movies and drinking Bloody Marys. And it's actually kind of bittersweet because earlier this year, my long-term relationship ended, and, you know, Halloween was always kind of a big deal to me and my ex. I mean, he wasn't as into it as I am, but we always did something fun. We went to Athens, Ohio one year, which is, I mean, Athens, Ohio, Halloween is a pretty big deal. It's been called the biggest Halloween party in America. And it's also one of the most haunted places in America. We did that one year. We went to some pretty cool parties together, but usually either on or around Halloween, we just spent a lot of time just hanging out at home, watching scary movies and eating candy. And I don't know, like this year I've really missed that. And to be honest, I'm just dreading the whole holiday season because I don't know, holidays and grief just don't mix. And mourning the loss of this relationship and trying to celebrate the holidays is going to be really rough on me. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Trying to narrow down what horror movies to watch was pretty interesting because about 98% of my DVD collection is horror. So, yeah, I watched Sinister a little bit ago, and I'm not sure what's coming up next, but I'm going to kick back and watch another movie and maybe have another one of these. So cheers and happy Halloween. Peace.